A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to a brand new edition of Newsfirst Weekend coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Rothgammer protests bring vehicular movement to a standstill along Gaul Road for 6 hours. Charred clothing believed to be the two businessmen who were killed discovered buried in Devinuvara. UNP comments on presidential candidate.
අපි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයෙන් අපේක්ෂයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් කරන බව මම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මතක් කරනවා. ජාතික ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සන්ධානයේ නමින් පුළුල් සන්ධානයක් ඇති කරලා ඒ පුළුල් සන්ධානයෙන් ශක්තිමත් අපේක්ෂකයෙක් අපි ගේනවා.
MP Shehan Semasinghe speaks about the hidden intention behind the committee report on brawls that took place in Parliament. Sri Lanka secures series win against South Africa in second test over the host, becoming the only Asian nation to win a test series in South Africa.
Starting off with some sports news, Sri Lanka entered the record books this afternoon with a comprehensive 8-wicket win over South Africa in the second test at Port Elizabeth and securing a series win over the hosts. Now, Sri Lanka now becomes the first and only Asian country to win a test series in South Africa against the Proteas in the game's 142-year history. Relatives of the two abducted businessmen from Rothgammer staged a demonstration today with the support of area residents demanding that those involved in the abduction of the two businessmen be brought to justice. The demonstration was carried out obstructing the Gaul Road and Coastal Railway line in Rothgammer. At around 9:20 this morning, the group gathered at the Rothgammer junction on the Gaul Road and demanded that those involved in the abduction of the two businessmen be brought to justice. After a while, the group of demonstrators obstructed the Gaul Road in the Rothgammer junction.
Those who murdered my son have remained silent till date. Is this the service provided by the police? If possible, tell the army to take control. Dear President and Prime Minister, please open your eyes to this matter. We cannot bear such pain. It is with the greatest difficulty that we protect our children. Please find my father and Uncle Manju. We cannot live without my father.
Meanwhile, another group of individuals staged a demonstration near the Rothgammer-Dodangoda railway line around 50 meters from the Rothgammer junction. This demonstration commenced at around 12 this afternoon. As a result, the Rajaratamanike and the train operating from Mathura to Kandy were halted for nearly 1 hour at the Rothgammer and Kahava train stations. At around 2:30 p.m, a group of senior police officers, including the Assistant Superintendent of the Gaul Police, arrived at the scene and requested the protesters to discontinue the obstruction to the main road. While the demonstrators disregarded their request, the demonstration continued in the same manner.
In some areas, they say these individuals were murdered. Amid those stories, a group of unidentified individuals who visited the house claim that they are still alive and demand cash. There is a major issue and we request that the matter is explained and clarified to us. Rohana must be apprehended. He was the only person who purchased nearly 15 kilos of meat from our meat shop.
The demonstrations, which lasted for nearly 6 hours obstructing the Galle Road and another 4 hours obstructing the railway line, concluded at around 3:45 this evening. The protesters dispersed following the arrival of a senior group of police officers, including Assistant Superintendent of the Galle Police, Asita de Silva, who promised that those responsible for the abduction of the businessmen will be brought to justice.
With regard to the abduction and murder of the two businessmen from the Rathgama area, Viraj Madhushankar, a sub-inspector of the Southern Provincial SIU, was apprehended on the 21st of this month. After the police officer was produced before the Galle magistrate, he has been remanded until the 27th of February. Today the CID had found some burnt clothes buried in the backyard in the Veldamadama area. An inspector of the Southern Province Special Investigations Unit, Nishanta Silva, was also apprehended inside this house. He is currently in remand custody. It was also revealed that Nishanta Silva had taken temporary shelter at this place. The CID suspects that the burnt clothes belong to the abducted businessman from Rathgama.
Prior to conducting investigations in this regard, the police headquarters had taken steps to transfer the senior DIG in charge of the Southern Province, Ravi Vijayagunwardana, and another 15 police officers attached to the Southern Province Special Investigations Unit. However, 5 of the 15 police officers who were transferred have not reported to work so far. The police stated that they have commenced investigations regarding these police officers as well. While the National Police Commission has requested for a report regarding this matter, the Human Rights Commission has also commenced a comprehensive investigation. The Inspector General of Police had cancelled the sudden transfers given to 2 police officers who were transferred after carrying out a raid. The transfers had been given by the senior DIG in charge of the Northern Province, Roshan Fernando. On the 21st, the 2 police officers who were attached to the Valankulama police post in Mena had pursued a lorry that defied police orders to stop and carried out a raid. It was revealed that the driver of the lorry had fled after abandoning the vehicle on the road. As a result of the raid, the police discovered 27 illegally felled buruta trees which are valued over 800,000 rupees in the lorry. The 2 officers attached to the Ilupakadavai police station were given transfers to the Kopai police station in Jaffna with effect from today, stating service requirements. Incidentally, the owner of the lorry lives in the same police division as the one the 2 officers in question were transferred to. Senior DIG in charge of the Northern Province, Roshan Fernando, stated that the officers in question were given temporary transfers as they were charged with disciplinary measures for engaging in police patrol during the night time. He further stated that even after they had been advised to have 4 police officers during a nighttime patrol. However, the police media spokesperson Ruwan Gunasekara stated that the transfers were made null and void.
The 2 police officers were transferred to Jaffna. If an officer is facing a problem, they have the right to talk directly to the Inspector General of the Police. The IGP held a discussion with these 2 police officers. The IGP has taken steps to solve this issue. The error has been corrected. He has instructed the relevant senior officials.
Several views were expressed in the political arena today regarding the recommendations provided by the committee to investigate the brawls that took place in Parliament in November last year. Headed by the Deputy Speaker and includes MPs Chamal Rajapaksa, Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, Mave Senadiraja, Chandasri Gajatira and Bimal Ratnayaka. The MPs representing the UPFA, MP Chamal Rajapaksa and MP Chandasri Gajatira boycotted committee proceedings since its inception. The report prepared by the committee states that 60 MPs had committed offences as per the Powers and Privileges Act of Parliament. 55 of the 60 MPs represent the UPFA, 4 MPs represent the UNP, while 1 MP represents the JVP. The committee recommends steps to be taken against these MPs according to Standing Order 77, which includes provisions to suspend the services of an MP from Parliament service for a period of 2 to 4 weeks.
Several MPs have been held accountable for damaging Parliament assets and threatening other individuals. Now the Parliament must decide what steps should be taken against such MPs. When we read this report, we question as to what happened to these MPs. If we follow the teachings of Lord Buddha, we must gather, discuss and disperse in peace. If we fail to follow this, our country will fall apart. There is no difference between this report and the present United National Party. The report as well as the UNP is one-sided. We suspect whether this is a plan to suspend Parliament and to obtain approval for a proposal to form a national government and several other acts and commands. When penalties are being proposed, the Speaker must also be punished, as he is responsible for taking this Parliament towards controversy.
Leader of the opposition, Mahinda Rajapaksa, said that the numbers of civil organisation representatives in the Constitutional Council is less. Both ruling party and opposition MPs too made remarks in this regard.
There is only the Speaker, Prime Minister, Opposition Leader, representatives of the United National Party, Janata Vimurti Peramuna, and the President's representative in the Constitutional Council. Shamal Rajapaksa was there, but then he resigned. Because there can't be anyone from the opposition leader's side, that is why he resigned. We appointed Douglas Devananda, Prime Minister opposed, and now discussions are underway to determine who to be appointed. But there are too many politicians. There are only 3 representatives from the civil organizations. That is the issue.
Our main intention was to reduce the unlimited powers of the President. If there has to be a structural change with the change of the opposition leader, I think that needs to be done. But it doesn't mean that the entire Constitutional Council should be abolished. We have to change the procedure. The opposition leader has to be changed. So in a situation like that, we have to come to an agreement as to how to make changes accordingly. The council was established with a good intention. So if someone says that it is not independent, we have to fix that problem. Instead of continuing with the problem, we have to resolve it. That is our stance.
Several comments were made regarding the presidential candidate from the United National Party.
There will be a presidential election at the end of this year. People of this country will be given an opportunity to choose a new leader. Right now, I would like to say that we will put forward a candidate from the United National Party. We don't have to act like the Siri Sangabo anymore. We have had the same situation in 2010 and 2015 both. We can't do that again. We will nominate a person from our party. A new president should be elected before the 8th of January 2020. We will establish a wide alliance named the National Democratic Alliance. We will then bring forward a strong candidate from the alliance as the next president of this country.
Leader of the opposition, Mahinda Rajapaksa, paid his last respects to late Venerable Mitheni Anandathera, the chief incumbent of the Mahavapi temple in Pannigamuwa, Tissamaharama.
The opposition leader then spoke to the media.
The group met yesterday. There were discussions about possible merge to form an alliance. There were also discussions that the members of the Flowerbud Party and the Sri Lankan Freedom Party should hold separate discussions. We then discussed about the protests. It was not what he said before. He said there are around 20 ministers from the government. Now it has decreased to 4 and now he tries to put that all on the Flowerbud Party. This is a political issue. People are smart.
UNP parliamentarian S.M. Marika commented on allegations made against parliamentarians for using narcotic substances.
I find Ranjan Ramanayaka's statement is made in an inappropriate manner. If he says like that, then he should name them and then he should prove it. If he can prove it, then definitely action should be taken against them. The whole 225 MPs in Parliament are not required to act like puppets of a certain person. They don't have to engage in political prostitution. But I clearly say that if someone can accuse a person like that, then he should be able to prove it.
While politicians express various views about highways, there are certain areas where people face difficulties due to the dilapidated state of roads.
Voice of the people. News from across the nation, reported by Newsfirst regional correspondents.
Residents are facing severe difficulties as the road from Agalawatta-Bodhiya Khanda junction to Mulatiya in the Kalutaka district had not been renovated. The government first attempted to commence renovations on the 29th of September 2016. Although it was supposed to be vested with the public on the 28th of September 2018, residents charge the renovation activities are yet to be completed. They added the area residents, including children attending schools, are severely inconvenienced.
They said that the construction activities will start in 2016. 4 years have passed and nothing has been done. We asked the authorities to renovate this. A child can't go to school and a vehicle can't travel. Vehicles get damaged.
We can't use this road when it rains. We were told that this will be renovated. The funds were obtained from the World Bank. We don't even know what happened to the money.
Meanwhile, following views were expressed in the political arena with regard to the highways.
The main expectation of the people in the Kandy district is the Colombo-Kandy Expressway. They should have built the first highway in Kandy. Venerable Thero, Expressway, airports, harbours were built. We have no issue in building them in Gaul and Mathura. But who asked you to build it to your doorstep? A large sum of money was spent on expressways. But who gets to travel on an expressway? Those were built for rich people.
The village tank cascade system in Sri Lanka was declared as a World Heritage. But many of these tanks lie in a state of ruins. Today, hundreds of young Sri Lankans came together to clean up one such village tank.
V-Force. The gun at the V-Force team arrived early this morning at Mapalu Gaswever in Mahava, located in the northwestern province. This wever was at one time nearly 25 acres large, but has now been reduced to just 5 due to the infestation of various invasive plants. Thousands of families from 6 villages depend on this wever for water for their farming activities. The V-Force team took on the massive challenge of cleaning up this tank by dividing into several teams. This operation was carried out together with the support of the Sri Lankan Navy under the guidance of the commander of the Northwestern Naval Area, Rear Admiral Sujiva Pereira. Crown Holdings Private Limited also joined hands with us on this colossal task. Students from the Moratuwa, Vayamba, Ruhuna and Sri Travancore universities, as well as members of International Youth Organization ISAC and students of the Maharaja Institute of Management participated in this operation.
At one time when we can't do this on our own, you have volunteered to help us. This is a World Heritage. We're carrying out this cleanup operation so it will contribute more to the country. Social service is not something we see every day. We are happy that we were given this opportunity. We were able to successfully clean the area given to us.
The Mahava Pradeshya Sabha, Sri Lanka Police, officers from the Kurunagala Division of the Department of Agrarian Services, together with the area residents, contributed immensely to ensure that today's mission was a success. After a full day of hard work, the V-Force volunteers were awarded a badge of recognition signifying their contribution. The first V-Force project saw the team's help in the cleanup of the Sigria Rock Fortress, while the second was a cleanup campaign at the Negambu Lagoon. This was followed by the third mission in Ratnapura, where over 4,000 saplings were planted along the Kalu River. And the fourth mission was last month, where the teams whitewashed and painted a rural school in Kegol.
Gammadda, V-Force.
The 168th model village built under the Udagamana program was vested with the public today. The event was held under the auspices of Minister of Housing, Construction and Cultural Affairs and UNP's Deputy Leader Minister Sajid Premadasa.
The village was built in Kandakatia, Angunakola Palasa in the Hambantota district, and the village was named as Siripanana the Gama. Parallel to this, housing loans and property deeds were distributed among the locals. Medical assistance was also provided for kidney patients.
Countries that were behind us in the 1960s and 1970s have surpassed us. They have developed their countries in technology. We talk about the amount of development. We discuss about the GDP. We further discuss about economic growth. The politicians talk high about these topics. They present statistics. They say that the economy was high in their area, that they are better than anyone. They say different things. And what people get from them is something else. People who shout on stages generally have no idea of the real needs of the people.
Minister of Agriculture P. Harrison says that the government will commence providing compensation to farmers who incurred heavy losses due to the devastation caused by the Sena caterpillar species. The minister expressed these views during an agriculture research officers meeting held at the Swarnapali Girls School in Anuradhapura yesterday.
On the 10th of next month, we will commence to provide compensation to farmers who suffered losses due to the Sena caterpillar.
Crops that were destroyed by the Sena caterpillar species are inspected by agriculture research officers, while compensation is then paid based on estimated loss. Meanwhile, the national organizer of the All Farmers Federation, Damal Karunaratne, expressed the following views during a discussion held in Nikavaratia today.
Minister Harrison says that the government is prepared to give compensation to corn farmers who incur heavy losses due to the Sena caterpillar. A farmer is not asking for 40,000 rupees, he is asking for 75,000 rupees. Potatoes were purchased from farmers in the Valimada area at 92 rupees per kilo. The government must pay these farmers in millions. Even onion cultivators have not received these payments as of yet. Minister Rishad Batiuddin promised that these dues will be settled next week. More than a month has passed since he made this promise. He has not given a single cent. The government must pay big onion cultivators 4,500 rupees each. The farmers are in doubt as to whether a government that failed to settle their dues to the farming community will provide them with compensation.
Newsfirst, together with the Sri Lanka Navy, sailed into deep seas earlier this week to understand how operations against drug smuggling take place. Newsfirst Zulfiq Farzan reports.
According to data obtained from security forces, there has been a considerable increase in the quantity of Kerala ganja smuggled into the country by boat, especially in the northern seas. For an in-depth understanding, Newsfirst decided to sail deep into the northern seas from the Kankasanturai naval camp with the assistance of the Sri Lanka Navy. We hear reports of the Navy making drug seizures on a daily basis, and according to authorities, most of the drugs that are seized come by the sea route or by boat into Sri Lanka. The journey of 12 nautical miles was between KKS and Point Pedro, and the Navy commenced its operations following a briefing on the mission objective. In order to combat drug smuggling taking place in the deep seas, the Sri Lanka Navy dispatches its fast attack craft and other boats into the Blue Ocean on a daily basis. The timing of these operations are kept a secret. The sophisticated radar system used by the Sri Lanka Navy can detect any vessel, big or small, within a 5 nautical mile radius. The Navy also has the latest equipment to detect suspicious vessels in their arsenal, which also involves years and years of experience. These are, of course, closely guarded secrets of the Navy. In the rough seas, the Navy picked up the bearings of suspicious boats and closed in on their location. After a close and thorough inspection using advanced systems, the boat was set free, without causing any damage to the fishermen.
If we detected any vessel which is suspicious, then we will conduct a further investigation and the further observation.
Drug dealers peddle large quantities of kg and other drugs by boat under the guise of the fishing industry. This, in turn, has caused serious issues to fishermen who make attempts to make an honest living by simply fishing in the northern seas.
Now, tomorrow, News First will take a closer look at how such operations take place aboard suspicious boats in the northern seas. Moving on, Sri Lankan-born Australian Yashodai Selvakumaran has been named a finalist for the 1 million Global Teacher Prize.
Australian actor Hugh Jackman did the honours, announcing the list of 10 from a field of 10,000 applicants spanning 179 countries. Yashodai Selvakumaran is known as Miss Selva to her humanities students at Rooty Hill High School. More than 10,000 teachers from around the world were nominated. This year, Selvakumaran's fellow top 10 teachers hail from all over the globe, with educators from Japan, Brazil, India, Georgia, the Netherlands, the UK and the USA also making the final cut. The winner will take home $1 million in prize money to use towards an innovative education project of their choice.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.